these quarterbacks. Guy that's not as reckless, takes care of the ball, won back-to-back MVPs. Obviously, you know, in the media, some people hate him, some people love him, some people admit on him. Aaron Rodgers, he decided to stay in Green Bay, signed a huge deal. I was on your show, actually, before it actually happened. You were convinced he was leaving. He was out of there. Hey, Joy, chill. He's not going nowhere, Joy. You look around that division, he stayed where he stayed. Devontae Adams, he's got franchise. He said he's not playing under it. Interested to see how that plays out. But how do you think it goes with Aaron Rodgers, and were you really surprised that he ended up staying in Green Bay?
The longer that the free agency, just like his decision dragged out, the more I was convinced he was staying and they were just working out a deal, because he's really holding the whole league in this holding pattern. Like, nobody could make any moves. He was the first domino that had to fall, and then it ended up being Russell Wilson being the first move that was made. But I think that Denver kind of knew that Green Bay was working out a deal with him. I was convinced at the beginning of the season he was out of there. Then the way that the season ended, I was even more convinced that he was leaving. But the longer that it took for him to announce his decision, the more I was like, nah, he's staying. They're just working out a deal. Mm-hmm. I don't blame anybody for taking more money. We all want more money. And this is what, for me, I can separate the two things. You're a professional athlete. That means that you work as an athlete for a living. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to get paid. Like, everyone's trying to get paid. That's what you do for. So I'm never mad at athletes for taking more money. But I do think at the quarterback position, and especially once you get into the legacy years of your career, it tells me different things about what you're trying to accomplish. So two things can be true. I can be totally cool with you taking all the money, but I can also not think that you're a Super Bowl team anymore, which I don't. Mm-hmm. So he's had one Super Bowl in his career, which is, he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer, going to go down as a legend, all those things. But he's not really in the Super Bowl winning business. Like, he's not. When you take up 13.4% of the cap, you're not. He
got a friendlier cap hit, though.
No, he did change. He adjusted all of it. But here's the thing. Here's a statistic that I always bring up, because I think it's very telling. And I'm not a big stats person, but I think when you have years and years and years of something that's consistent, you have to consider it. Since 2011, if your cap hit at the quarterback position is 12.4% or higher, you don't win a Super Bowl. That's a lot of time. The top two biggest hits were Tom Brady in 2020. That was 12.3%. And then Tom Brady 3 or 4 years before that, I think it was 12%. And both of those are
What was Stafford's last year?
Stafford's wasn't that high.
Okay.
So basically, if you're over that, you don't win a Super Bowl. So can you? Sure. Those trends can be broken. But what it tells you is, if your quarterback is too expensive, you can't afford to have the talent around you that you need to win a Super Bowl. Not get to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. So beyond that, we've seen enough consistent results from Aaron Rodgers that he does take care of the ball. He is incredibly talented. I thought he had an MVP season. I thought he deserved the MVP. But he ain't a postseason quarterback. He showed us smallness in postseason game, no doubt about that. He ain't a postseason quarterback. Yeah. He is a great regular season quarterback, which there's value in that. We've seen guys who have had incredible careers at being excellent regular season quarterbacks. He has one Super Bowl, so nobody can say he's not a champion. But you had the number one seed in the NFC, in a tough NFC. It's not what it is now. A tough NFC, number one seed, home field advantage against Jimmy Garoppolo and a wild card team.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say it because everyone's got to be real precious with Aaron.
I mean, I've said it multiple times.
That was a disaster. I don't care about Tennessee. I don't never trust Tennessee. Okay. But when you are a back-to-back league MVP, you kicked up all the dust you kicked up all season long, which I'm cool with. Thank you for the content. We had something to talk about every day. But you can't do all that and then lose in your first playoff game at home as the number one seed. If it was anyone other than Aaron Rodgers, that would be all we could talk about.
Yeah, that was a disaster. That boy head, whoever it was.
It's a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I was on him.
That's a mark on your legacy. You have to consider that.
No question. I remember watching that game. I turned that game off. I thought it was a wrap for San Fran.
I don't know why you thought that. Come on, man. Jimmy G over there, man.
Man, you cut it out.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Jimmy G over there find a way to win. Hopefully we find a way to get him in Indy. You looking at this landscape, that's our best option right now. But before we move